Hello everyone, my name is Myiesha and welcome back to my channel. On August 28th, so last Saturday, I hosted my very first readathon on my TikTok page at Aspera Ad Astra. And I wanted to share that with you all as well, but make it more than just me resharing the TikToks here. I thought I'd show you the TikTok and then do a little bit of a behind the scenes commentary. So let's get started. Good morning, everyone. Happy Readathon Day. So today I have a few books that I'm really excited to read. I'm gonna do some graphic novels. So I have March, book 1, The Silencer. You might have recognized this one from one of my book hauls. Birds of Prey, which is really thick now that I'm holding it. And there's one more. I'm also reading Amari and the Night Brothers on my Kindle, and I've already started reading it, and it is so good. So that's pretty much the priority for today, and I might sprinkle in the graphic novels in between. So what's your TBR? What are you gonna read today? Let me know. So you can tell in my voice that I had just woken up. I still had my PJs on. I like to call them my llama pajamas. And I always knew that I was going to do graphic novels, but I was also already reading Amari and the Night Brothers. So it ended up working out really well that I had a main book to work on, and then after I could finish that, I would go on to something else. I love this book so much. It is so adorable, and this is literally everything I could have ever asked for a book when I was a kid, and I am halfway through, so hopefully it doesn't take a turn, but it is so cute. I am on page 2. Excuse me. I'm on page 212. I started on page 164, so someone else do the math of how many pages I read. Now it's time for the first prompt. Spell my name with books. I've been sort of thinking about this, and I know I'm gonna get it wrong, but let's see. Let's see how I can do. So my name is Myiesha. M, Super Mutant Magic Academy. Y, Now That I've Found You. It's a book on my shelf. I'm gonna try not to look stuff up, but I'm gonna need some help. Just As I Am, the Cicely Tyson memoir. E, Eliza and Her Monsters. S, Slay, by Brittany Morris. H, Honor Girl. A, Illuminate. No, I want it to be one where it starts at the beginning. A, what is that book called? One Day at a Time. It wasn't the one I was thinking of, but it starts with A. Now it's your turn. Spell your name. So when I was coming up with that challenge, it reminded me of old school booktube challenge videos when we would have readathons together. So it was very reminiscent of that. When I was trying to spell my name, I wanted to make sure that I didn't look up a huge list beforehand. I did think of some titles, but I wasn't actively looking up lists. You could tell in the video that I was looking at my bookshelf, which is right across the room from my bed, so that definitely helped a lot. And I think some of my favorite moments when I was just staring off into space, repeating the letter. It's you're doing great. And I also love my energy in the beginning. You could tell how much I was loving Amari and the Night Brothers, and it's a really good book. I ordered Wingstop for lunch. It was a little spicy, but so delicious. And this flavor is Louisiana rub. So I was downstairs in our living room, and my dad was in the like adjoining room. He was in the family room, so I didn't want to do a full on video because he was like right there in the next room, because the way our uh it's sort of an open floor with no real doors down there, so I didn't want to be TikToking where you could hear, which is why I just recorded my food and then I did the voiceover when I came back upstairs. That lunch was as delicious as it looks, and it was spicy, but I like that it's spicy. This book is so pure and I love it so much. I am on page 310. It's so good. It's so good. So 4 p.m.'s prompts is tell us how you're feeling using a line from the book you're reading. And let me find it. So, how I'm feeling using page 273 of Amari and the Night Brothers. It's something that Director Horace says. I have learned to wait for what will be revealed to be revealed, which perfectly describes how I'm feeling right now, because there's so much going on in this book, and I need to know all the things, but I've got to wait. I must be patient, but I'm not a patient person, so this is going to be difficult, but oh, it's so good. This book is so good. And as promised, we are also going to take this time to stretch, because I have been sitting since 10. I've been sitting for most of this time, so I'm a little stiff, and I'm going to do a little bit of stretch. You can join me, or, just do whatever you want. You're grown. Whew. How has everyone's reading been going? I am so obsessed with this book. Like, I think I said before, it's literally everything I wanted out of a book. I'm sort of waiting for the shoe to fall, like for it to take a turn, because I tend to not like book series, because let me not fall, because they always prepare for the next book, so the ending ends up being a little bit unsatisfying. But I don't think this book is gonna be that. I can hope. I can hope. But so far, it is so good. I love Amari. I love Dylan. Fiona and Magnus might be some of like my most favorite characters, and I just love how developed everybody is. I didn't know I would love it so much, but oh my god, it's so good. Like, we're not gonna do like a full-on stretch, just something to like loosen you up. All right, I think I might take a little bit of a break because there's a bug off on Animal Crossing, but this book is good. But I really should take a break just to pace myself. Okay, I heard myself as I said it. So I hope everyone's reading is going super well, and I'll see you in the next update. I really did love Amari and the Night Brothers, because for me it was everything I wanted as a kid. It was one of those adventure novels for kids in the realm of like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or Artemis Fowl, or just all these the sort of weird kind of wacky stories that I've never seen a black girl in the center of. So it just gave me all of the feels. I was stressed as a reader at this point because so much was happening and I just wanted to know what was going on as soon as possible. But of course, that was not possible. I had to wait. I wanted to make sure I did a stretch too, because just me as a person, I like to incorporate stretches throughout my day just to keep me limber and just to get me moving. And when I did put this readathon together, I wanted to make sure that at some point in the day we were all going to stretch. So I have taken a break I played Animal Crossing and participated in the bug off. My top score was 8 bugs. So now let's do the next prompt, which is a word search. And I might have set myself up because I'm not sure how easy this is going to be. But there are 5 words that we need to find: a color, an emotion, a name that starts with the same letter as yours, a location, and a hobby. I'm going to use one of my graphic novels that might be a little bit easier to skim, so let's see how this goes. We already found a color, black, from Black Canary. I found a name that starts with the same letter as mine, Munnin. I don't know who this person is, but it counts. We've got an emotion, anger. Okay, we are 3 for 3. A location, vacillate, the club. Does fighting count as a hobby? Judges. I think we'll allow it. Oh, we also have music because she's a musician. So it counts. It counts. We're counting it. With that one, when I was coming up with the prompt, I figured, okay, these are some things that every book is probably going to have: a person, a place, or a thing, a feeling. When I generated it, it was like, there's a pretty good chance that I'll be okay. But when I was getting ready to film, I was getting worried because it's like, will I actually be able to find everything okay and in quick enough that it will make an interesting video? But it actually came together a lot easier than I expected. And then towards the end, when I was picking a hobby, I think really when I was in that mindset of just something that someone could do for fun, so it ended up coming together. And since I'm one of the judges, I am the judge, I could literally have done whatever I wanted.
By the way, one more thing.
Yeah.
Whoa!
God, what the hell is...
You know what that was for. Go. Go!
This one's probably one of the quickest videos, and my lip syncing is not synced at all, but that's fine. It was supposed to be fun, and the prompt was to interview a character, and when I heard the sound, I was like, this sounds perfect for the end of an interview with a character I didn't like. And I don't want to spoil this, but Laura does something that really annoyed me, and I just imagine, oh, I have been behaved this entire interview, but before you go, I need to punch you for what you did to Amari. And it kind of came together really well. If you read the book, you pretty much could tell any moment that Lara and Amari are in the same place, I'm probably punching her for it. Because and I get it, she's like grieving, but no excuse for being mean. Alright, it's time to read from a different spot. Let's see. Well, I am in my new reading spot. I'm just about done with Amari and the Night Brothers, and then I think I'm gonna read Black Canary. I knew I wanted to do a transition for moving between reading spots, but I did not know how it was going to turn out, and it turned out way better than I expected. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud. And what's interesting, because I was literally trying to be like, okay, I went from right to left, and so I need to go right from left again, and I need to make sure my twists are moving in the right direction. And all of this is at like 10 o'clock, so it's not like it be super loud or anything. So I was so proud. So I was in my new reading spot for all of like an hour before I was like, I want to get into my comfy pajamas and my robe that has a hood. Am I cool now? I did finish Amari and the Night Brothers. I have feelings. I loved it. I think it dragged on a little bit towards the end, but I'd still give it 5 stars. Easy. It was just everything. It was everything. I'm thinking now that I've finished a book, I might watch a movie to kind of give myself a palate cleanser. And then I'm gonna go read Black Canary. Pretend you didn't notice the ring light in my eyes, okay? Thanks. I am going to watch Beyond the Lights, and my snack of choice is Flips. The reading spot is my sister's office across the hall, and I was only in there for maybe an hour. Probably not even that long, because I was starting to get cold, and I was uncomfortable, so I immediately changed into my comfy pajamas. This is midnight at this point, so I was definitely like, I just wanna chill and get in bed. So I ended up watching a movie, which was really good. It was just like a cutesy movie at that point. And there was something else. Oh yeah. As far as Amari and the Night Brothers, because by this point I had finished it and I loved it. I really did. I think towards the end it did drag on just a tad for me. It felt like there was a couple of points that felt like an ending and it just kept going. But I think by that point, I mean, I still loved it. I think it was 400 and something pages, so I already knew up front that it might get a little wonky towards the end, so I wasn't super surprised, but it didn't affect my reading experience because it was just so solid up until that point that I can't like down or nix it some points for that. And then one of my favorite parts of this video was I had rewatched the footage and noticed that my ring light was very visible in my glasses, and I just like, you know what, we're not gonna redo this, we're just gonna talk about it and keep it moving. Now it's time for some bookish secrets. This is not the right lighting. That's better. So let's see, what are my bookish secrets? I've never read Harry Potter, and after everything J.K. Rowling has done on the internet, I don't think I plan on ever reading it. I haven't read a lot of classics. So like I haven't read Jane Eyre or Pride and Prejudice. But I love A Tale of Two Cities. I had to read it for when I studied abroad in London. I don't really care about like the book versus movie TV adaptation debacle. I'm very much whichever one I see first or read first is the one I'm gonna like. I'm not really in this, they need to have every detail in video form or I will not like this. I'm like, sometimes the movie's better. Like, sometimes. I think that's it. I just finished watching Beyond Lights. It's a cutesy movie. That's all I really wanted. I think it was good for me to take a break, and now I'm gonna read Black Canary. I think the Bookish Secrets was one of the prompts that I was most excited to do because I just wanted to be able, let me just put it out there, some bookish things that might be polarizing, but I wanted to talk about. A couple of highlights from that was the movie being better than the book. There are some that as an experience, I mean, you can get through a movie in 2 hours, and a book might take you upwards of 8 to 10. So I can't say that the movie is always bad or the book is always better. There are some very extenuating circumstances. I am still up. I don't know why, but I am. I am reading Black Canary. There are no page numbers, but this is how far I am. Still have more to go than I've already read. But it is surprising. I don't know what I thought this would be about, but that's not what I'm getting. It's giving me like Electra vibes. It's giving me Scott Pilgrim vibes, but like not as funny, obviously, because it's a lot more actiony. But I'm here for it. I can't complain. It is so obvious at this point that I am tired and I just want to be done. But I am determined to like stick it through a little bit longer. The prompt for that for 4 a.m. was just, why are you still up? Why are you, what is it about your book that is keeping you up? And I kind of answered without saying that I was actually answering a prompt, so I thought that was something interesting. But you can see it. You can see it in my demeanor. It's like, I don't want to do this. I'm not even caring how the video looks. I just want to put it out there. So this is my final update. No, I did not make it to the 24 hours, but that's why it's called a 24-hour readathon. Come on. It's in the name. So I've been reading Black Canary. It's kind of all over the place. And I will eventually finish it, but I don't know if I want to finish it now. And I'm not trying to start a new book. So we're just going to stop here. I will share my favorite line since we're here. And it is, time is flexible at a subatomic level. Universes are born and die out as quickly as a note held upon a breath. Doesn't that sound cool? Well, I want to thank you all for reading with me today, and thank you all for joining me in my shenanigans and for following me on this page. And I am so excited for what's next. But for now, I'm gonna go to sleep. See you later. So that was my final update right before 6 a.m. I don't remember if I had breakfast before this update or after, but you can kind of tell that I had taken a power nap right before because I feel like I look a little bit more lucid. But by that point, I was like, okay, I'm done. I admit defeat. I don't want to be up anymore. I don't really want to read this book anymore. Because I was reading Black Canary. And it's a compilation of issues, so it doesn't really feel like a beginning to end cohesive story. It kind of jumped around a lot. And so by that, I was like, 6 a.m. me cannot find the through line of these stories, so I would really love to go to bed right now. And so I went to sleep. I think I woke up, I don't even remember, maybe 1 o'clock. And then by the next day, so that would have been Monday, I was pretty up and about, but I did still want to take a break from social media and TikTok in particular, because I had posted 11 or 12 posts in one day, so I definitely wanted to take a break. And now I'm back strong, and I will continue to post on TikTok and YouTube, but you can see me on both channels. Well, that is the end of this video. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a good one. Bye!